In this video, we're going to talk about this weedless jig head. This is made by Z-Man, and I've been testing it out, and I've seen some things that I really like about it, but I've also seen some things that I don't like. So there are definitely some situations where I've enjoyed it, but others that I recommend not using it. So I'm going to share that in this video. But overall, this weedless jig heads are just nice to have. I do recommend that anglers have these. If you're targeting snook, redfish, sea trout, flounder, these fish are ambush predators. They're often going to be holding near structure like docks, rocks, just a lot of hard structure, obviously seagrass as well. But where I find this the most helpful is in fishing around docks. And you can see I just moved it to St. Pete, and here's some footage of me going out. One of my first trips out, I had Otis with me, and I was fishing docks, and I rigged a gulp shrimp in this case, and it was just bouncing on the bottom. I was basically able to go right up along the pilings, knowing that I wouldn't get snagged, or at least I would have yes, they do get snagged some, but it is much harder to get snagged with these jig heads. And again, I just caught a really nice red, as you can see here, on my first time just exploring some territory. And then also that same day, I had rigged up this slam shady paddle tail, right? So these jig heads can work well with gulp shrimp or with paddle tails, right? So fish imitation and shrimp imitation. It basically just rigs up just like a jig head, except the fact that you have this weed guard. So I did the same thing, right, with the slam shady paddle tail on there. Caught a slot snook, doing the same thing, just basically fishing it just like a normal jig head. Just the fact that it just has the weed prevention addition to it. So the benefit is the fact that it just gets snagged less, right? You have less chances, less odds of getting snagged on the bottom, which will definitely help you save time and money, right? But time on re-rigging while out on the water. Huge concern. But I have definitely noticed a decrease, or I should say an increase in the amount of fish that I miss, the amount of hits that I get that I miss. And that's because this weed guard does get in the way of getting some hook sets every once in a while, right? As you just saw, I still do trust it to get hook sets. I've caught some solid fish with it, but I've definitely noticed an increase in the amount of times where I get a good strike, set the hook, and I miss it. So for that reason, I really like using this jig head when I'm fishing docks, especially ones that I'm not familiar with, right? Like that video footage, I was just exploring some new areas. I didn't know which docks have stuff on the bottom, which ones don't. A lot of people sink things down there. And so every time I fish a new territory, I will actually gravitate towards these types of jig heads because it's just worth it, right? So I can get down and fish aggressively, fish close to the structure without the need of worrying about getting snagged. And then after I fish it a couple times, I know exactly where the snags are and where they're not. Then I'll go back to the normal jig heads, right, without this weed guard, and fish that, knowing that it's going to help me increase my catch ratio. So that's it. Just wanted to share with you the feedback on here. So these have been great jig heads for fishing tight to structure, or when fishing areas that I'm just not familiar with the bottom contour. Just helps prevent getting snagged. But when I'm fishing open water, when I'm fishing grass flats or like muddy areas where there's just not much stuff to get snagged on, then I do not recommend using these because, as I said, it'll just decrease the amount of hook sets you can get. So these in particular, I really, again, the fact that I really do like them. The bad thing, I guess the last bad thing I'll say about them, is that they're just hard to find. They are tough to find. And the fact that I like them so much for the times when I'm fishing tight to structure, we went ahead and bought a bulk amount of these to sell on our shop for our fishing club members. But you can get them as well. Even if you're not a member, you can get them. You just have to pay more. So if you do want these, but more importantly, if you do like to target snook, redfish, sea trout, flounder, highly recommend checking out our Insider Fishing Club. Not only do we show you exactly what you need, the latest and greatest trends every week, we also provide just valuable products like this at a discount. And so I'll put a link down below to the store where you can check it out. Otherwise, just wanted to say thank you so much for your time in watching this video. And if you have used these jig heads and you have noticed anything that I missed, right, overly good or overly bad, it's totally okay. We are 100% transparent. Please do leave the comment section down below. I look at all those, and I'm always looking for new angles on certain products like this that are unique, that in my opinion are good in some situations, but not very good in others. So Hopefully that was helpful. Again, leave a question or anything down below if you have any. Otherwise, see you again soon.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live salt strong and wear the line today.